There's lots of uncontrollable variables that are going to change over time, and you got to focus on the things that you can control, and you have to adapt your perspective on situations on what the conditions allow. This week was a good example. The early part in the week, we were getting waves that were well overhead, and we had to work on certain things that were conducive to the conditions. Later in the week, we got more traditional Guiona's playful, fun waves, and that allowed us to do work on different things.
One of the things that I found interesting, and the biggest takeaway for sure, is how much of surfing is applicable to just everyday general life. It's all about how do we put ourselves in the right position to catch the wave? What do we do when things start to get a little bit dangerous? How do we get ourselves out of that and recoup and get back on track? And then once we get ourselves to the goal, which is getting up on the wave, what do we do once we're there? It's a massive takeaway. And the biggest thing I think is just being patient.
I started surfing maybe 15 years ago, and I never took a lesson, and I developed a lot of bad habits. Personally, I started surfing just for fun, a couple family vacations. And then just wanted to progress because I thought it was a great sport.
I started surfing on Sunday.
A week ago, here.
Same thing, Sunday morning.
I came here, I had surfed a couple of times before, and once in California, but not really. And so I came here pretty much as an open book.
The same for me, actually. I had like an hour and a half lesson, and then I got here and I realized that I had no idea what I was doing and quickly started learning.
Honestly, I've been surfing for the better part of 2 decades now, and it's been interesting because up until this trip here, I've been a beginner surfer for 20 years.
Yeah, I'm kind of a similar situation where I feel like for a long time, I would go on vacation, I'd go out, I would get a 2-hour lesson, I'd try for a day, I'd try for a few days or a week or whatever, but never really progress. I sort of was flailing around in the water, trying to figure things out on my own.
I dabbled in surfing for like 20 years, but I've never really learned how to surf until I arrived here.
And what was your motivation for coming here?
Quite simply, one of our best buddies, Dave, reached out to us years ago and said he's organizing this surfing trip.
We were all here gathered together for our friend Dave's 40th birthday.
David Aiken.
Mr. David Aiken.
Yeah, he's been inviting us to this thing for 4 years.
But this was quite literally the gift of a lifetime.
Yeah, Dave planned this years ago. So it's been like a 5-year lead up coming out here. We were playing, we were getting ready to go. COVID came, it got delayed by 2 more years. So I feel like I've been anticipating this trip for 3 years.
I'm Dave. I'm 44 from Toronto, and I'm a huge fan of Surf Simply. So I've been planning this trip since 2011. The first time I came here, I was so enamored with the coaching, the atmosphere, the hospitality, that I thought it would be an amazing thing to do with my closest friends.
You not only have the friendship and the jokes and, the laughs, but you also have an element of competitiveness that really drives you to take the most advantage.
Well, really close friends are important because they keep holding you accountable and keep you grounded. And these guys do a great job of keeping each other grounded because they always take the piss out of each other.
We have various t-shirts with some names that I don't recognize.
Dave's wife, Kate, reached out to us all without Dave being aware and set up we need a nice uniform. Everyone needs to be wearing a jersey, names on the back, what name you want to go with, a nice saying that sticks and works for the situation. And I think Kate nailed it. I think the shirts were great.
Russ Jackson, I know you do. I'm telling everybody else. Russ Jackson was a CFL quarterback, and then they named the academic award in the country after him.
And our school was not the school that used to win those things. Dave, in his final year, was the second person to win the Russ Jackson, and I was first. So I just need to remind Dave, pretty good, but that's an unbreakable record right there. We've known each other for 25 years, and that competition within the group, but also it's co-opetition, right? We're all cooperating, we're all trying to learn. You know, we want to see all these guys succeed in this and in life, so I think there's a big advantage to coming down with 11 friends and getting after it.
The improvement that everybody gained throughout the week was incredible, but it really was like a fraternal bonding experience. It was excellent.
And it was fun as much as it was good to see yourself progress, it was really fun to see everybody else. And you kind of get as much like joy out of seeing somebody like progress and move along their week as you do get it for yourself.
It's not necessarily like a typical resort that you would come to where you don't get to interact with the staff. The second you come here, you're welcomed by 4 or 5 different people, and you instantly feel like you can talk to anybody. It doesn't matter who they are, and they seem to interact incredibly well with each other and bounce ideas off each other, and they work incredibly well as a team. I was getting pointers from different coaches left, right, and center.
What was your coach this week?
Marlon and Harry.
Tell me about them.
Look, I've known Harry for a very long time. He's an incredible teacher. He's very specific, detail-oriented, and clearly very passionate about surfing and coaching and development of coaching.
Look with our eyes. We're going to lean with our body weight. We're going to lift with the outside hand. You're actually going to grab that rail and lift. And then once we're ready, we can come up to the feet, keeping the eyes on the target. Functional stance, feet, lips, hands, head, all of that goodness. And away we go.
And it's evident that the coaching philosophy is permeated through the whole team. And so, Marlon shares a lot of the similar characteristics that Harry does.
The waves are about chest to head high. We have the low tide conditions from this morning, which are great to practice some angle takeoffs. Dave this morning and I are working on potential hitting the whitewater or re-entry. So we'll be evaluating bottom turns and actually getting to hit some whitewater with an early rotation. The wind is still blowing offshore. The ocean is blue, no clouds in the sky, just another happy day in the surf.
My coach was Derek. He's the man. He's got more energy than probably anyone I've ever met. Constantly has a smile on his face, made me laugh nonstop, and is an exceptional coach and a great guy. Love him.
We got low tide, so faster closing out waves. I just want you to feel that ride down the slide. That's all. The only difference we're gonna do this morning is instead of getting hit and pushed by whitewater, the tail's gonna lift, and you're gonna give a couple extra paddles. I'm gonna give you a push, and you're gonna feel wee down that slide. Once you drop to the bottom, that whitewater is gonna catch up to you quick. And at that point, you've done it a million times. Just treat it like a regular whitewater wave. It was a bit bigger earlier in the week, a little bit intimidating to make the paddle out. But for the most part, the swells drop down into a manageable range. Fun for everybody to get out the back.
Had 100 different coaches, whether it be weightlifting coaches or football coaches or wrestling coaches or running coaches. And I can say with entire confidence that Jesse is probably the best coach I've ever had.
So if you're here at the bottom of the wave and you're trying to stand up, you do have some gravity pushing you down, making it feel harder than it should.
Oh, okay.
If you're standing up here, you have gravity with you, you're lifting up, it's gonna feel a lot easier, a lot smoother. Check your functional stance, keep the weight forward to start, and then if the wave is steep, you can always navigate that by moving the hips back.
She was so positive. She explained things in such a clear manner. She really broke down all the skills, and like every time I went out with her, I felt like I got better and better and better and better.
Look, the thing I enjoyed the most is just being able to hang out with all of my friends and having that sense of camaraderie. Trying to do this kind of hospitality is incredibly difficult. I was talking to Rue and you know, trying to do really elevated, sophisticated yet casual hospitality is really, really hard to pull off. And you guys continue to elevate this experience in this business. Every time I come back and have an interaction, it gets better.
We've all stayed in hotels before. This is nothing like that. Within minutes, everybody knew my name, and we started to engage in conversation. And just throughout the week, we're chatting with the kitchen staff about, you know, what their life is all about, and how close do you live, and, you know, how often do you get out and surf? So it's not like it was a staff that was only there to care for your needs. These were friendships that we developed throughout the week, and not only with the coaching staff, but everybody who was here to help.
Yeah.
These are friends.
Yeah, I think it's really evident when you are around a group of people who enjoy what they're doing, and it was clear that everybody here enjoys what they're doing and they like being here.
When it comes to a massage, when it comes to dealing with Gabby from the administration, everyone is very friendly about it. And I think, as you said, I think they're very much friends, but they still respect one another as colleagues and know they have a job that they need to do. And it's important, the interaction, explaining the food is so good here, and you know, the chefs come out and they talk to you about what it is, and they offer to give you recipes.
Oh my God, the food was unbelievable. The morning stretches, I think, were like key, because like you're waking up every morning feeling super stiff and sore, and the massages were just an extra thing to like pump me through the week.
We've all heard about personal care and how important that is to just your overall health and well-being. This is a curated experience. The pieces that they've selected and put in place, whether it be the quality of the food, the freshness of the food, when the stretches are scheduled, when the massages are scheduled, when the downtime is worked in, this is an overall, across the board, brilliant personal care experience.
The main thing I'm taking home with me is actually not the surf, it's the community, the group, and I would include the coaches within that, and the kitchen staff and everybody else. Like, it was just the atmosphere around here was just amazing. There was never a time we were bored, but there was never a time where we were unhappy. It was just such a positive vibe, this whole experience, that's something that I'm going to always remember.
Look, the last thing I would just want to say is I'm very grateful to Rue and the whole team here for their commitment and dedication to always trying to get a little bit better, make this experience a little bit better, their dedication to coaching and helping people get better at surfing. And I think there's lots of transferable skills that people take away from this absent the surfing part. So thank you.